Hi. Please subscribe and hit bell icon. With the debut of the Redmi Note 10S in mid-May, Xiaomi has made the under 15,000 rupees smartphone sector pretty attractive. The Redmi Note 10, Poco X3, and Realme 8 5G EE were all interesting possibilities in the category, but the Redmi Note 10S adds to the heat. Most of these phones have AMOLED displays, and some even have high refresh rates and 5G connectivity, which were not available on inexpensive phones until last year. The category appears to be more exciting than ever before, and it appeals to a diverse range of users. If you're looking for a new smartphone, here are the finest options around rupees 15,000 for June 2021. Number 1. Redmi Note 10S. The Redmi Note 10S is the newest addition to the category, providing interested clients with a better option than the previously existing Redmi Note 10 without boosting the price too much. The base variant of the smartphone costs rupees 14,999. The display is a 6.43-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED with a 60Hz refresh rate. It is powered by a MediaTek Helio G95 octa-core processor. The Redmi Note 10S is powered by a 5000 mAh battery and runs Android 11. A 64-megapixel primary camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and a 2-megapixel macro camera are all included in the phone. It has a 13-megapixel front-facing camera for selfies. In India, the smartphone also debuted MIUI 12.5, which is a refreshing experience to use. My conclusion: the Redmi Note 10S appears to be a fantastic smartphone with a nice design, a small form factor, a sharp display, and decent cameras. Given that it covered all price points between rupees 12,000 and rupees 22,000, we still think Xiaomi could have omitted it, but that's completely a brand decision. Number 2. Realme 8 5G. The Realme 8 5G, which is also priced at rupees 14,999 and, as the name says, supports 5G, is a direct competitor to the Redmi Note 10S. The phone has a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus 90Hz display with a 90.5 screen-to-body ratio and a pixel density of 405 pixels per inch. An octa-core MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor powers the Realme 8 5G. The 48-megapixel main camera on the Realme 8 5G is accompanied by a 2-megapixel monochrome camera and a 2-megapixel macro camera. There's a 16-megapixel selfie camera on the front. My conclusion: the smartphone is future-ready, which means you won't need to buy a new phone for at least a year, when India is projected to have the requisite 5G infrastructure. Not only does the phone have 5G, but it also has a silky smooth display, a long-lasting battery, and likely good cameras. Number 3. Redmi Note 10. Despite the competition and subsequent releases, the Redmi Note 10 remains one of the best smartphones around rupees 15,000 in India. It has a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 display and a 6.43-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 1100 nits peak brightness. In the retail packaging, the device comes with a 3300 mAh battery and a 33 watts fast charger. Along with a powerful Snapdragon 678 SoC, there's also a quad-rear camera configuration. A 48-megapixel main camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and a 2-megapixel macro camera are all included in the smartphone. It has a 13-megapixel front-facing camera for selfies. My conclusion: for the price, we found the Redmi Note 10 to be a very capable device. It has a good display, a stylish design, and a long battery life. Number 4. Motorola Moto G30. It's encouraging to see Motorola learn from its mistakes and properly price its phones. The Moto G30 is a perfect example of this. The phone has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 processor and 4GB of RAM, as well as 64GB of storage. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery and a 20 watts charger, as well as an HD Plus display with a 90Hz refresh rate. A 64-megapixel primary camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 2-megapixel macro camera, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor make up the quad camera setup on the Moto G30. My conclusion: for Rs 10,999, it offers an impressive camera setup as well as a good processor for simple tasks. Given its price tag, the Moto G30's battery life is actually quite good. As a result, it qualifies as a budget-friendly device. Last and final, Poco X3. The Poco X3 is the only smartphone on this list that stands out from the rest. It's the only phone under Rs 15,000 with a 120Hz refresh rate and a significantly more powerful chipset. The phone's 6GB RAM and 64GB storage option is priced at Rs 14,999. A 6000 mAh battery, 120Hz refresh rate display, Snapdragon 732 SoC, and 64-megapixel primary camera sensor are all included. Apart from the processor, the most of the features are identical to those found in the more expensive Poco X3 Pro. Both phones have a striking resemblance in appearance. My conclusion: the Poco X3 is a powerful performer that delivers a little more than its price tag. For the ordinary shopper searching for a phone under Rs 15,000, there are a few options. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe. We'll provide much more best smartphones in budget range.